Imagine going from a top prospect to a punchline. Ben Simmons' fall-off has been unlike anything else we've ever seen. The dude had it all from the time he was in high school. He was ranked #1 prospect by a landslide. Awards came from nearly everywhere. Then came the monstrous contract. He was touted as the next LeBron James and even dated Kendall Jenner. It's safe to say that coming into the NBA, and maybe even now, there are very few talents that have touched the floor with a level of natural ability that Simmons had. There is more. He was a 3-time NBA All-Star from 2019 to 2021, All-NBA third team in 2020, 2-time NBA All-Defensive first team from 2020 to 2021, and NBA Rookie of the Year in 2018. He was also named in the NBA All-Rookie First Team in 2018 and the NBA Steals Leader in 2020. So, how did he go from the top to the bottom of the barrel? Today, we're taking you through a deep dive into the monumental fall of one of the best prospects to ever play in the NBA. Before we continue, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this one. Simmons was born in the Melbourne suburb of Fitzroy in 1996 to father Dave and mother Julie. His father is an African-American expatriate who became a naturalized citizen of Australia, and his mother is a white Australian. His father played college basketball for the Oklahoma City Stars in the United States before turning professional with the Melbourne Tigers in Australia's National Basketball League in 1989. Simmons was raised in Newcastle from the age of 18 months, while his father played and coached in the city. Simmons began playing basketball at the age of 7 in the Newcastle Hunters under-12 representative team. From the very first day he stepped onto the basketball court, you could tell that there was something different about him. He later played for Lake Macquarie and Newcastle. At age 10, Simmons returned to Melbourne and began playing junior basketball for the Knox Raiders. In year 7, while attending Whitefriars College, Simmons was named MVP after he helped Whitefriars win the Year 7 Division 1A basketball premiership. In January 2013, Simmons moved to the US to compete against boys of comparable size and athleticism. He attended Montverde Academy in Montverde, Florida. In April 2013, Simmons did something incredible. He helped Montverde rally from a 16-point deficit to beat New Jersey's St. Benedict's 67-65 in the final of the high school national tournament. After competing in the Jordan Brand Classic International game, he returned to Melbourne, where he joined the Bullying Boomers of the Big V competition in June 2013. On the 14th of October 2013, Simmons committed to Louisiana State University, picking LSU over other offers from Kentucky, Kansas, and Duke. As a junior, Simmons averaged 18.5 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per game while shooting 69% from the field and 77% from the free throw line. He recorded 88 blocks as well. Montverde finished the season with a 28-0 record, closing with a 71-62 victory over Oak Hill Academy in the high school national tournament at Madison Square Garden. Simmons had 24 points and 12 rebounds as he earned MVP honors. Following the season, he was named America's top high school junior and was voted MVP at the National Basketball Players Association Top 100 camp. He became even better in his senior year. Simmons signed a national letter of intent to play college basketball for LSU. On the 28th of January 2015, Simmons was named as a starter for the East team to compete in the 38th annual McDonald's All-American game. A few months later, he was named the Morgan Wooten Award winner, given annually to the best male McDonald's All-American player who exemplifies outstanding character, exhibits leadership, and embodies the values of being a student-athlete in the classroom and in the community. He was then named the Naismith Prep Player of the Year on the 12th of March and the Gatorade National Player of the Year on the 24th of March after leading the Eagles to a 28-1 record and a berth in the high school national tournament for the third straight year. In 29 regular season games, he averaged 28 points, 11.9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.6 steals per game, while shooting 70.7% from the field and recording 24 double-doubles. He was a killer on the court, right? Keep watching for more, and let us know your thoughts so far below. Entering his freshman year of college, Simmons began his career on a 4-stop national tour in Australia with the LSU Tigers. The Tigers completed their 5-game Australian tour with a 3-2 record, and over the 5 games, Simmons averaged 20 points and 9 rebounds per game to lead the team in all major statistical categories. His preseason Player of the Year honor made him just the second freshman to earn the award, joining Kentucky's Julius Randle in 2013, and his All-American team honor made him just the fourth freshman to be honored on the preseason team. Simmons led the team in all major statistical categories except three-point shooting and free throw shooting, finishing with averages of 19.2 points, 11.8 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 2 steals, and 0.8 blocks in 34.9 minutes per game. But in March 2016, Simmons declared for the 2016 NBA Draft, foregoing his final 3 years of college eligibility. He withdrew from school at the conclusion of the season, with plans to move immediately to Phoenix, Arizona in advance of the NBA Draft. He also signed with American sports agency Clutch Sports, which is primarily owned by Rich Paul. Before the draft, Simmons' attitude and character were questioned by several NBA media analysts. Philadelphia 76ers head coach Brett Brown, a former Australian national team coach and a friend of the Simmons family, repudiated the claims being made and was content with Simmons' pre-draft behavior. On the 23rd of June, he was selected by Brown and the 76ers with the number 1 overall pick in the 2016 draft, becoming the third Melbourne-born number 1 overall pick in 11 years. Andrew Bogut in 2005 and Kyrie Irving in 2011. He was also the first college player in the modern era to be selected with a first overall pick, despite never playing in the NCAA tournament. On the 3rd of July 2016, Simmons signed his rookie-scale contract with the 76ers and joined the team for the 2016 NBA Summer League. While he shot the ball poorly during his first 3 Summer League games, Simmons was praised for his court awareness and passing ability for a big man. However, things quickly went downhill for him within a few months. On the 30th of September 2016, Simmons rolled his right ankle during the 76ers' final training camp scrimmage. After receiving an X-ray and MRI of the foot and ankle, it was determined that Simmons had fractured the 5th metatarsal bone of his right foot and was estimated to miss 3 to 4 months. On the 24th of February 2017, he was ruled out for the entire 2016-17 NBA season after tests revealed that his broken right foot had not fully healed. Although Simmons performed better in his sophomore season, the signs of decline were seen by many analysts. In addition, his attitude towards his teammates and fans left a lot to be desired, which added to the general narrative that he wasn't good enough for the league. But since his 2021 playoff collapse against the Atlanta Hawks, his trajectory has changed dramatically. But it was worse than that. For Ben Simmons, it wasn't about getting into fights or racking up technicals. It was a much larger issue. His decision to sit out games and demand a trade sparked a domino effect that cost him a fortune. Criticism from fans and the organization, including head coach Doc Rivers, questioning his status as a championship-caliber point guard, created a rift. Consequently, Simmons requested a trade and decided not to show up for training camp or preseason games. The 76ers, citing a breach of contract, began to withhold his salary, which led to fines totaling nearly $19 million. With $17 million in fines, Simmons has set a record that exceeds those of other prominent NBA players. For comparison, Serge Ibaka has been fined about $980,000 over his 14 seasons, while Draymond Green's fines total around $994,000 during his time with the Golden State Warriors. Eventually, the Sixers shipped him to Brooklyn in exchange for James Harden. Was that a good trade? Let us know your thoughts below and smash that subscribe button for more content like this. The move to the Nets was a disaster. In his 3 seasons at the Nets, he only played 33 games as a result of back issues, which would lead to surgery, and his confidence in his jumper was at an all-time low. Simmons eventually reached a contract buyout with the Nets, becoming a free agent, and joined the Los Angeles Clippers. That wouldn't go much better for him as his struggles continued, making just 18 appearances and being barely used in the Clippers' playoff run, averaging well under 10 minutes a game. With the Los Angeles outfit last season, Simmons averaged a measly 2.9 points, 3.1 assists, and 3.8 rebounds. The 29-year-old then became a free agent at the end of last season after averaging 5 points and 4.7 rebounds per game on 52% shooting from the field in his last 51 games for the Nets and Clippers combined. While some optimists still think there is hope for the 29-year-old, another piece of bad news broke. He was dropped by his agent. Despite several issues and concerns around Simmons' mental and physical issues, from back surgeries to blatantly declining to play for the 76ers, the Knicks were reportedly willing to take a risk on him. They reportedly tabled an offer valued at more than $5 million a season. However, the point guard reportedly declared he wasn't interested while his agent was in communication with the Knicks, trying to thrash out a deal. According to several news outlets, this action by Simmons led to his agent Bernie Lee dropping him as a client. The Knicks have one slot still open for a veteran and have now reportedly moved on with Landry Shamet under consideration. In August 2022, Simmons took action by filing a grievance to get back his withheld salary, leading to a settlement with the 76ers for $20 million. Although this issue was resolved, it has left a lasting impact on his career. After his trade to the Brooklyn Nets in February 2022, Simmons has been dealing with injuries and struggles on the court. This was highlighted during a game against his previous team when he missed a layup, which only intensified the chatter about his decline from a three-time All-Star to his current situation at the age of 28. Although financial penalties are intended to enforce discipline, the broader implications on a player's career trajectory and public perception are profound, so that has followed Simmons ever since. As Simmons' body continues to fail him and his production continues to decline, the discussion around him has turned toxic. The question is why? NBA legend Gary Payton lands in this conversation. According to him, it all has to do with him being a top pick. Payton, a former second overall pick, simply put it, speaking with foxsports.com.au while in Australia to attend NBA and Tabs-free block party event at Hotel Stain on Manly Beach last week. Everybody will always be saying, "Is he a bust? We had a lot of expectations for him, and it hasn't panned out." What I think is that I wouldn't listen to or think about it. I would try to be thinking about what we can do now to get better. That's what I would think about. There is no doubt that Simmons has become a disappointment to many fans in Philadelphia and New York. However, his story isn't that unique. Many top picks falter in the NBA and never quite reach the levels many people expect from them. A good example is DeAndre Ayton, the top pick in 2018. At the moment, he's playing below the expectations of many, especially one who went ahead of the likes of Doncic and Gilgeous-Alexander. Ayton is a monster rebounder when he's locked in, as well as a great finisher down low. The problem is his focus level can shift from game to game, and he's never developed his mid-range shooting into becoming a threat from outside. In addition, constant injuries have impacted his development negatively. Overall, the major reasons for Simmons' decline can be traced back to a long, frustrating battle with injuries. Though he entered the NBA as a highly touted number 1 overall pick in 2016, Simmons missed his entire rookie season due to a Jones fracture in his right foot. While he bounced back in his sophomore season, 2017-18, capturing Rookie of the Year honors, the injury bug never fully left. At just 28 years old, Simmons has missed nearly half of his possible games due to injury. Back injuries in particular are notoriously difficult for NBA players to recover from, especially for someone like Simmons, whose game relies heavily on athleticism, mobility, and defensive versatility. But what the media won't say is that beyond the physical setbacks, Simmons has also faced well-documented mental health challenges. His fallout with the 76ers, which included refusing to play and being fined, became one of the most high-profile standoffs in recent NBA history. Simmons cited mental health struggles as a key reason for his time away from the court, and those issues, coupled with a physical toll, have clearly taken a heavy toll on his career and confidence. His time in Brooklyn was expected to be a fresh start, but injuries prevented any real rhythm from developing. The flashes of defensive brilliance and transition playmaking were still there at times, but the explosiveness, aggression, and confidence were largely gone. Did you expect his time in Brooklyn to be like this? Let us know your thoughts. There have been different speculations about Simmons' future, but we know for sure that the only other team in the NBA that could bring Simmons in is the Celtics. With Boston star Jason Tatum expected to miss most, if not all, of the 2025-26 season, Simmons could find himself in a system not reliant on him scoring, instead focusing on his strength, defense. And earlier this month on the Celtics Talk podcast, NBA insider Chris Forsberg described Simmons as the type of random swing worth taking. However, there have been talks of retirement. If Simmons is indeed considering retirement, it would be one of the most dramatic falls from grace in recent NBA memory. From All-Star and All-Defensive honors to barely staying on a roster, the decline has been swift and harsh. Declining the Knicks' offer suggests that Simmons likely no longer has the desire to go through the grind of a full NBA season. That said, Simmons hasn't made any public statement about officially retiring, and his camp has been quiet in recent months. But time is running out. Teams are hesitant to commit to a player with such a concerning injury history and unclear availability. Ben Simmons was once hailed as the future of the NBA, a 6'10" forward with elite defensive instincts and unmatched court vision. But years of injuries, mental hurdles, and lost development time have pushed him to the edge of the league. If retirement is truly on the horizon, it will mark the end of one of the most complex, frustrating, and ultimately unfulfilled careers in recent memory. Is Ben Simmons the biggest disappointment in the NBA? Drop your take below and smash that subscribe button for more deep dives into players like Simmons.